Okay, this was Orlando Wilson, and what I want to talk about in this video quickly is fake IDs, fake passports. And I get asked quite often by people that want to play James Bond or Jason Bourne on how do they get hold of fake passports, etc., for security reasons. Well, the general rule is don't do it, because if you're caught with a fake government issued ID, you can have a lot of problems. Any official ID, and I don't mean a company ID, etc. I mean government issued IDs that can be used for opening bank accounts, travel, etc. I mean, don't play with them. Why? Because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble wherever you are, and I'll give you a story as we go along. Now, years ago, was it possible? Yeah, sure, I'm sure it was. In the book Dogs of War by Frederick Forsyth, he details how you could get hold of a fake passport how many years ago, because people just used to find a child that died how many years before, about the same age, and apply for a passport under that kid's name, dead kid's name, etc. And they used to be able to beat the system most of the time. The trouble is, these days everything's digital, so being able to do that type of thing is a lot more difficult, because everything's digital. As soon as somebody's born, as somebody dies, they're on a database, so it makes things, that type of thing isn't going to work these days. How a lot of criminals, well, if people that seriously want fake passports, is they will find somebody, say a homeless person, or somebody they know is never going to travel, about their age, and then apply for the passport under their name. Well, apply for the passport under the person's name, but use their biometrics, use their picture, etc., etc. Or skip on biometrics, use their picture, etc. So if you find a homeless person, you find somebody that's never going to travel, and get them to apply for a passport using the photo and everything in the person's name that actually wants the passport, that type of thing can cost a lot of money, and you can still get yourself into a lot of trouble. Now, we'll bring in biometrics. In most countries now, if you're going in, you need a retinal scan. Well, in a lot of countries, you need a retinal scan, you need fingerprinting, you need your picture taken, etc. Going into US, you need fingerprints, picture taken, etc. That's for facial recognition, and again, fingerprints. So even if you turn up with a different passport, they're going to know who you are, because your biometrics are already on record. And okay, you might have a different name and a different passport, they know it's you because of your retinal scan, your fingerprints, and your facial recognition. So this is where you can have as many passports as you want, but these days people are always going to know it's you. Now, fake passports, you can get them, you can buy them, people make them, etc. But the trouble is, they're okay for internal use, and some people have said to me, okay, you can use them for opening bank accounts, etc. You know what, everybody's on a database these days. Identity scams are big, I know they're big, and I tell people, you know what, don't get involved, it's illegal. You can get fake passports, so you can get passports and IDs in other people's name and take over their identity, etc. People do that. I know people, the scammers do that all the time. But if you're caught on system with that, if you're using somebody else's ID and that other person's already on the system, that can bring up a clash of interest and raise questions. And again, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So the thing is, with fake IDs, traveling internationally with them, crossing borders, as soon as they're scanned, it's going to show up it's fake. There's no data on it. I know you can get IDs out of China, US driving license, etc., that have the addresses, etc., in the barcodes. You know what? You're going to get found out at some point, and it's not worth it. The stuff is out there, but again, it's very questionable if you can actually use it apart from IDs to get into a bar, etc., etc. That's about it. Now, let me tell you a story that can clarify things a little bit about fake passports. I know of a gentleman. He was in Europe. He bought, for some reason, he wanted to play Jason Bourne, so he went and bought a passport. The passport was a real passport of somebody approximately his age, and the picture looked a little bit like him. So it was a real passport. He thought the passport had been stolen. You can buy stolen passports, etc. So this guy was American. He sent his real passport for some reason, FedExed it back to the US, that way he wouldn't be caught with 2 passports, etc. He flew out of the country he was in and flew into, I believe, the Netherlands. When he got to the Netherlands, he got to passport control. They scanned his passport. Okay, sir, is this your passport? Yes. Okay, you sure this is your passport? Yes. Okay, sir, come with us. So he was taken off to the naughty boys room, and after a little while somebody turned up. Is this your passport? Yes. And the immigration officer was like, we don't think so, because if this is your passport, you were murdered about 6 months ago in one of the Central European countries. So now the guy had a lot of explaining to do why he had a dead man's passport. I think he got 6 months. I think he'd done 6 months in jail in the Netherlands. Then he was deported back to the United States, and of course the US Embassy was involved, etc., because he's a US citizen. He didn't have any travel documents because he'd already sent them back to the US. So this is where he thought he was being clever, playing James Bond, etc., playing Jason Bourne, and he ended up getting his ass thrown in jail. So this is where these days, with technology, with biometrics, you know, your fake IDs might be okay for internal use within a country, to rent apartments, to do this, to do that, daily use. But as soon as you start dealing with immigration officials, crossing borders, or anything official, chances are these days they're not going to stand up. A lot of people will say to me, well, there's that many illegal immigrants in the US using fake IDs. Well, yeah, they are. They're using other people's social security numbers, etc., etc., etc. But this is where the US, as far as immigration is concerned these days, are not particularly they're not particularly hot on the topic. If you're trying to do things legally in the US, you get screwed. But if you're an illegal immigrant playing fun and games, they tend to turn a blind eye to it. But that's another video for another time. So this is it. As far as fake government IDs are concerned, yes, you can get them. You can get copies of passports, you can get stolen passports, etc. But my general rule is, what you don't need them, don't play stupid games, because you can end up in a lot of trouble. If, as this story I gave you there, if you're caught in a foreign country with a fake ID, especially an official government ID, a passport, a driving license, or military, police or something, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So it's just not worth it. Are they available? Yes. Can you get them? Yes. Is it worth it? No. If you're an illegal immigrant and you need something to rent an apartment, maybe. But if you're doing things officially, if you're an official person, don't play games with stolen passports, etc., because you can get yourself into too much trouble. So follow me along on social media. There's more of these videos going up. We got a load up at the moment. Also, I have an array of books up on Amazon. There's going to be a couple more books going up in the next few months when I get around to finishing them, on counterinsurgency and also drones for security applications. So follow me along on social media. I prefer X, formerly known as Twitter, and also LinkedIn. In the meantime, be good, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and don't go doing anything stupid. It might sound cool, it might look cool, it might impress your friends at the bar, but you can end up getting your ass thrown in jail in a lot of places.